This is day 38 of my Practicing Visibility series, where I am documenting my progress and my goal of trying to become a public figure for young people. This project also started with me trying to get over my fear of being seen, but I want to own it and say that I don't feel that way anymore. I think in part because of this project, but also because the time for people to step up as champions for young people is now. And I think that sometimes I can get a little caught up in my own drama and my own, healing and things like that. But the second that it becomes bigger than me, and the second that I realize that I can help other people, that's when it's easy for me to kind of get out of that dark place of thinking about my stuff. And these past few years has been a lot of time alone thinking about my stuff, figuring out how to feel better, how to do better. And in the past 30, I'm looking at my days, 38 days, today's day 39, I feel like I've really gotten through that. And this project's been a big part of it. Something I've been thinking about a lot is how we view young people. And I know that sounds silly because literally that's all I talk about, but specifically how we view society, because people have been saying protect the kids, protect the kids. And yes, I agree 1,000%. We as the adults need to protect the kids. We need to be aware of the systems that we are putting them through that are causing harm to them. We need to be aware of people who will cause harm to kids. And so our protection is super important. However, I think we need to follow that up with protect and empower. It's not just about protecting kids. They are not weak and useless. And I know that society views them that way. And I know that there are things about them developmentally that, will sometimes we have to guide them and make sure that they're making good decisions for themselves. But why is it that we treat them that way? Why is it we treat them that we have to do all the protecting for them? We have to tell them everything. We have to be the people that say, we know what's best for you and we're going to do it no matter what you think. So when I think about this work, youth empowerment is youth liberation. Because when we teach kids how to take care of themselves, how to advocate for themselves, how to advocate for other people, they are going to feel better. And when you feel better, you can do better. I'm not just saying this, right? I was doing research today specifically on how hate and anger and violence have negative impacts on people's mental health, because right now we live in a time where people will just say whatever and say that that's true. I mean, there's influencers out there who are literally like, you trust data, I trust my gut. That's wild. That's so wild to me. And so I encourage young people to do their own research. So I was doing my own research into it. And yeah, there's a ton of research that shows a substantial correlation or connection between people who are angry, people who show anger towards themselves or other people, people who are hateful, right? That negatively impacts their mental health in a lot of different ways. And so when I'm talking to people, I'm thinking about, or talking to kids, I'm thinking about how these influencers, especially men, are teaching kids things that are harmful to them. It's not just harmful to society, it's harmful to them. And the stuff that I'm teaching is also backed in research. Things like compassion and kindness and character and core values. Like, these things have a huge amount of research done around them. There's a whole entire field called positive psychology that talks about this, that researches this. So it's not just me being an adult that says, I know what's best for you. I encourage them to go and look. I encourage them to go and do their research because, one, we should be encouraging young people to be experts in themselves. And two, I don't want to be another adult that just says, I know what's best for you. Even from the outside, people can say, okay, yeah, this is positive work. I still want them to choose it on their own. And doing research can help them figure that out. So I'm going to be talking about this a little bit more because this whole thing came from figuring out that hate ages people quicker. It's pretty interesting, huh? When you see people on TV who are 26, not thinking of anybody in particular, 26-year-olds who look like they're 45. There's nothing wrong with looking like you're 45 if you're 45. If you're 26 and you're aging like that, it's probably because you're so hateful. Okay, that's my spiel for today. I worked on my book. I feel really good about it. Working on some deals I've got my spring tour coming up. which I'm super excited about. So just finalizing some stuff, a lot of like non-glamorous work, but the work, like that kind of work is what makes the work work. Oh my God. That makes sense to me. So I'm going to leave it alone. Okay, see you tomorrow.